So what does your life look like from 10,000 feet? And what do memories have to do with mindset? Well, we're going to find out right after this. Hey guys, Keith here from Healthier Point of View, where together we're helping each other become the healthier people that we want to be. And guys, with that being said, if you're enjoying this channel and if you appreciate the videos, please hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button. It will help me out a lot, and it will help this community out a lot as we begin to grow and bring in more people who are looking to better their lives through a healthier point of view. And with that being said, guys, let's talk about this new idea I'm going to bring forth today, and that is looking at your life from 10,000 feet. Now, I came up with this a couple years ago when I was struggling with some thought processes that my wife actually brought to my attention. And so I feel like this is something that will help anyone at any level develop a better idea of how they feel and how they think about things. Well, so with that being said, that is the idea behind looking at your life from 10,000 feet, right? That's the exercise. The exercise is journaling your memories from the earliest memory you have to the current day. Journaling the good memories and the bad memories. So that's the exercise, but here's the application. And I'll use my life as the application, just use my life as an example. And here's the deal. My wife Lisa came to me a couple years ago and she's like, you know, you have a very disturbing thought process on a certain thing that I don't like. And I'm like, okay, what's that? And she said, you have this thing where you can just kind of not deal with people anymore, where you just kind of cut them out and you don't have anything to do with them. And that's not a good way to be. And I thought, who is she to say that? And then I thought, who am I? So here's the way it worked. I took this idea and I sat down, and it took a good month, because this is really how this works. This is not something that just happens. It took a good month of me really writing down the way I got to the way I thought. And this is the problem, right? How did I get there? And that's what this exercise does. It helps us to recognize how we got to a certain mindset. And that's what this will do for you. Now, what happened for me was, well, as I journaled my life and I realized that I did have this issue where I'd cut people off and not have them in my life anymore, even if it was the silliest little thing. It could be a major thing and then I'm justified for it, or maybe it's just silly and it's not justifiable, or is it justifiable at all? But here's the deal. A couple of things happened to me as I was going over my life, you know, seeing the whole picture, and I noticed as a young kid, as a really young kid, as a young second grader, third grader, a couple of instances happened in my life that really, I think, trained me to think the way that I thought. And here's the thing. I was born in Illinois. I was born in Illinois, just a town outside of Chicago, about an hour outside of Chicago. And we moved from Illinois to South Florida. We moved down to the Fort Lauderdale area, and it was the year after my third grade year. Okay, so there's a disconnect. I noticed that we moved and we disconnected from our whole family, the whole family, both sides of my family up there. Well, that was one part, but then about 2 years after we moved to Florida, my mom and dad ended up getting a divorce. So now we moved from Florida, where we had nobody, it was just me, my sister, my mom, and my dad, to me and me. Because my mom was busy working and trying to support the family, and that's no fault of hers. My dad moved on in his life, it's his right. And it was just me and my sister, and we really didn't get along all that well, even though we were brother and sister. We loved each other, but it was just a different life. It was different, you know, it was the dichotomies of a sibling relationship. It wasn't depth, because we were both the same age, and we were both going through it, we were both facing it different ways. But I recognized that in my memories, there were 2 times where I was just, look, I got to fend for myself here. I'm on my own. I got to learn how to deal with this. And it's easier for me now, you know, as I look back on it, it was easier for me then to just cut it out. Look, I'm not going to get close to you. I'm not going to deal with this because I don't have to deal with it again. I don't have to deal with being cut off again. And so I cut you off. You see how that worked? So I went through and I did my own memories and I realized where I got to that thought process. And it's the same thing for anything you look at. If you have a problem in your life or you diagnose that you have an issue in your own life, not me saying or judging or anything like that, but you realizing, hey, I think this way and I need to fix the way that I think. This will help you recognize who you are by diagnosing your memories. And again, I want to say it, and I used an example to help me get a better mindset on being more compassionate, more sympathetic, more empathetic with people, and rechanging and rethinking the way that I think. Well, it's the same thing with you, and that's just one example, and that's just something to help you kind of get the ball rolling. But what you do is you sit down and you journal these things. Now, the way that you know that this is really working, and this is so important, the way that you know that you're giving this your best shot is this. Once you start journaling and writing these things down and you start reading it and really thinking through these things, you will have times of what I call recall in the mind, recalled memories. So stuff that you don't even remember you remembered is starting to come back. And what happens is you then can go back and insert into those gaps in time, and you will see a bigger picture show up. You will get a better idea of where you reflect and who you became through your memories. Because here's the deal. Here's how I want you to look at this. The mind has two chambers, conscious, subconscious, all right? The conscious mind all day long is processing everything that's going on around it, right? It's looking at colors, sights, things, smells. It sees things, right? You're taking all the senses in. That's the conscious mind. But the thing is, everything that goes in goes to the subconscious mind and gets stored. So even the simplest things get stored. And that's what happens. So when you start to activate the subconscious mind and your memories, then you'll get these things, these recalls, these recalled memories where you weren't even thinking about it, and all of a sudden, boom, it hits you. A song plays, boom, it hits you. You drive by an old building, boom, it hits you. Right? Something maybe a place you and your friends would hang out in, or I don't know, go by an old school, an old shopping mall, someplace where you haven't been by in a while. Boom, a memory hits you. It's called recall. That's what I call it. It's called recall. So you go through this exercise, you figure out, hey, I need to fix this. How did I get this way? Well, I need to recognize my thought process. How did I get this thought process? And you go from there, because that's how you change, or you begin the process of retraining the way that you think about things. So, but not to go any further than that, because I want this to be about you. I want you to examine who you are. I want you to begin to appreciate who you are and grow within who you are. So with that being said, these next few weeks, think about this. Start journaling. What is a thought process in your life? How can I get past certain things? Why do I not seem to find success in certain places in life? This is kind of the thing that's gotten me to where I'm going now. I no longer have that fear that I can't do it because I believe in this. I believe in who I am. And that's what the whole process of getting the right mindset is, so that you can start believing in who you are, retraining the way you think, which is what we'll get into next week's video. We'll go into some of the processes I used to start digging into the subconscious mind to help you grow even deeper and changing the way that you see things. Now, one other thing about this idea of looking at your life from 10,000 feet. Because I believe that there's a positive in everything, okay? And for my example on my life, the positive for me was this. It taught me to be an independent person. It taught me to have strength in myself because things were taken away, right? Life's instances, things were taken from me. So it helped me to become stronger as an individual. So that's the positive. Now, the rest of it was crap because we left our family. my family broke up. That's terrible. But that's the problem that we have. We tend to focus on all of the negative instead of focusing on what came out of it that really was a good thing for me, really helped me develop and mature as a man. And the one thing I got out of it was that I was able to have strength within myself and believe in myself. And that's the point of the exercise. That's the end game of the exercise. So that when you recognize your thought process, okay, that you want to change, you see where this happened. So you go back to that thought process and say, what was the positive in that? What did I get out of this that was good? And instead of focusing on what was wrong and what was negative and what was crap, you focus on what was good. You focus on what made you stronger. You focus on what made you a better person, or what could be used to help you become a better person. I hope this helps, guys. I hope that you guys use the Life from 10,000 Feet exercise to your benefit. And guys, if you like these videos, again, I'm just going to ask, hit the like and the subscribe button, and I will see you again next week. Until then, have a healthier point of view.